343 Industries was not that bad, and they did not ruin Halo. Now, as you are scream typing your hatred for me in the comment section, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and pound that bell notification button so you can be notified of every single time I drop a video, which for my long form is every single day at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Now, let's go ahead and explain why 343 is kinda overhated. Now, I will say that 343 Industries has definitely done some stuff that I don't agree with, and there are some arguments to hate certain decisions that they've done. But to say that Halo 4 and Halo Infinite are bad games is insane. So, my whole entire thing with Halo 4, I think Halo 4 is one of the best stories of Halo. Now, I'm not saying that they're better than the original three. You really can't do any better from the original three. The original three, Halo 1, 2, and 3, were damn near perfect games. But Halo 4's story was so emotional, so amazing, and honestly, it delivers amazing performances from Steve Downes and Jen Taylor that I think were far better than their performances in the original three. Now, once again, I'm not saying that the game was better than the original three, but I will say that their performances are given more life than the original three do. So the thing is that I hear a lot of people just hating on Halo 4 for the gameplay, the Prometheans, how they played, and how they were as an enemy, and then the multiplayer. Those are the big ones. Now, I completely understand the multiplayer. The multiplayer tried to be more Call of Duty. I do have fun with certain modes, like SWAT. I think SWAT is one of the best versions that it has been in Halo 4. I think the best versions for multiplayer SWAT is Halo 4 and Halo Reach. But no, I do understand with the typical Slayer, that was where it was lacking, for sure. But when it came to story, but when you're saying that the campaigns are lacking, I just don't understand that. With Halo 4, it's a very emotional and personal story, really about the disease of Alzheimer's. And the proof of that is the fact that the creative director, while they were making that game, his mother, I believe, was dying of the disease. And he was making it in a response to what he was going through. So, I mean, I think that's a very personal story. I think there is a lot of emotion and a lot of passion that you can see in the actual storytelling of this game. Like I said, the performances are absolutely amazing. Now, as far as the gameplay goes, obviously, not nearly as good as the first three. And the Prometheans were not a fun enemy. I remember when I first played the game, being a bit younger, I was really happy just to have another Halo. So I think I was more excited that there was another Halo, and I kind of overlooked certain things. Playing it more in recent years, I've understood why people have had issues with it. The Promethean Knights are absolute bullet sponges. The crawlers are just not fun things to fight against. And then the Watchers, oh my god, everybody hates the Watchers. I hate the Watchers. They are one of the most annoying enemies because it's one of those things too, whereas as soon as they pop up, you have to shift all of your attention on them, because if you destroy one of the Promethean Knights, then the Watcher is just going to resurrect it, and all of your work was for nothing. So it really dictates how you play, and I'm not for that as far as Halo goes, because Halo has been built on freedom of how you want to play. As far as choice on how you want to go ahead and go through certain levels, choice on what your style of gameplay is going to be. And Halo 4 was much more, hey, we're picking this for you, which I get that's not really cool. But as far as the story goes, I think the story between Chief and Cortana was absolutely amazing. I like how when Halo 4 was coming out, games were shifting in tone. The era of the original three for Bungie was long over with. It was done. The hero with no personality is not necessarily a protagonist that we as gamers are wanting anymore. And Chief was designed to kind of be this husk of a person, so you as the player could see yourself as Chief. Now, obviously, in Halo 2 and Halo 3, he got much more of a personality, but he still was very quiet. He was still a man of few words. So with Halo 4, his personality does become more suited to what he was like in the books, which I really, really liked. It was much more of a fully fleshed out character, and I love the themes that they're showing of Chief becoming more machine-like and Cortana becoming more human, and that duality that starts playing. We also get to see, what is Chief fighting for? What is he going to be like in a post-Covenant War society? And these are interesting things to go ahead and explore. Now, Halo 5 was one of the worst games ever. It is easily the worst Halo game out of all of them. But it's interesting because you see where 343 is obviously listening to fan criticism to an extent. Because a big thing for Halo 4 was the multiplayer. So they took that and then they came out with Halo 5, where the multiplayer was very, very well received. Halo 5, I'm just going to be honest, I was very put off by that game, so I did not play it too much. But, I mean, the results are in. The community absolutely loved multiplayer there. But the story was, and I'm trying to be nice here, just absolutely lacking. It was terrible. I think they betrayed the community by what they did to Cortana. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I can understand why they would go toward that route, at least a little bit. But the level in which they did. Cortana is not just becoming a villain, she's becoming this absolutely super villain, the main antagonist of the series at this point because of what she's doing. She's literally wiping out towns in this part by raising up the Guardians. She's becoming this galaxy-wide dictator, and the things that she is doing in this game is very, very hard to come back from, and as a fan, look at Cortana and be able to still have the same caring feelings that we had for her in the original trilogy. And I get that they are trying to make her the villain, right? And they are trying to push that limit, but I think it was too much how they did it. And then also, too, for the fact that we already had to say goodbye to her in Halo 4, and then for them to bring her back only for her to become the villain was just the biggest knife to the back. So, like I said earlier, 343 has definitely done things that are worthy of getting pissed about. There was that, the fact that split screen co-op has been taken away. And Marty O'Donnell talked about this a bit too, and this is something that I fully agree with him on, is where he was talking about the reason why he was put off by 343 was that the original trilogy had so many different things that they left for 343. 343 comes in, takes it over, and then they take away certain features. And Marty was very upset that they didn't add on to certain things. They took certain elements away, saying like, oh, hey, like this was too ambitious. We couldn't do this. And that was the thing that I really didn't like too with their response to certain things of when they had promised split screen co-op coming back. Apparently I can't speak today. Was when I remember somebody from 343 saying that, like, yeah, this was too ambitious or something, and we just can't do this. Well, why is it that the original three were able to do these basic of things, but this new game can't do it on this new console with way more technology on its side? So yeah, like I said, 343 is absolutely deserving of a lot of backlash. But the thing that I get upset about is when they're saying that 343 ruined Halo. I think Halo 4, I think Halo Infinite are some of the best storylines in the game. And for me, it definitely brought me back into Halo. I'm saying like the excitement of it when we're going through a few years of drought where we're not getting Halo or Master Chief. I think it's been great, and I think it's been an awesome way to showcase Steve Downes' acting, to showcase Jen Taylor's acting ability. And then, with Halo 4 and Halo 6, these were games that full on, gave me an emotional reaction. With Halo 4, I legitimately screamed when Cortana passed away. I felt like a member of my own family had passed away because I grew up with Cortana. Then Halo Infinite came out, and I'm not too insecure to say that to try and hide the fact that I cried at that game. I absolutely did, and I'm not ashamed to say that. It was such a moving and touching tale. Now, don't get me wrong. It's because Joe Staten came back and he wrote the story for Halo 6. But I do like how with Halo 6, they came back, and once again, you can see that they were at least trying to listen to the community. They went back to the original artwork. There was a lot of stuff that started reminding us all of the original Halo trilogies, right? There was more exploration, and I liked the fact that it was an open world. I think they could have done more with it. I think that the world itself was very empty, but I do like Halo as kind of an open world first person shooter. I would have loved to have seen the Flood be activated in that open world as well. So, like, how with Skyrim, as you go through that game, the further you get into the campaign, the more and more dragons start to appear. I would have loved that maybe like halfway through the campaign of Halo Infinite, the Flood start to appear. And then the further that you get into that game, there's more and more Flood infestation. That would have been really awesome. It really sucks that they didn't go that route. I do have some gripes with the Endless, but I do think that the Endless, for the most part, was handled in a pretty well done way. I'm really hoping that Halo doesn't do a complete reboot. I hope that they do an actual sequel, because this is one of my biggest problems with 343, is the fact that every single game seemed like a soft reboot. It didn't seem like a immediate direct sequel to one another. It seemed like they were trying to kind of slowly restart and kind of be like, hey, we're sorry for what happened with the last game. I think 343 didn't hold on to their guns enough. I think they didn't, hold their position. And instead, they kind of backtracked too often. Now, with Halo 5, like I said, I hate that game, but there was at least still some parts to it where I'm just like, okay, this can set up for a good story or something like that, or there are still like some elements that are okay, don't just completely do an overhaul. Now, in that case, like I said, Halo 6 is absolutely an amazing game, and it worked out. Halo 6 does kind of feel like an apology game, though, which, hey, it worked out, but like I said, it'd be nice to see a sequel, a direct sequel to some of the games, instead of just kind of feeling like we're restarting. So when it comes to Halo Infinite, I thought that was probably Steve Downes' best performance in any of the Halo games. I think that they've had some amazing ideas, like I said, with the open world. Some of the new weapons that they had were really cool. There are still problems with Halo Infinite, absolutely. But, there's also just so many things that are amazing about it. The grapple shot. I love the grapple. I think that's a great idea to have. The new characters that they've introduced, they're absolutely amazing. So when people are just overly hating on these two games in particular, I don't understand. What 343 was able to do with MCC, yes, at launch, it was terrible. And that's been a big problem with a lot of these games like Halo Infinite as well. They're not releasing finished games on day one. And that's been the biggest issue, but that's not with just 343. That is the gaming industry as a whole. So many games are being released where they're not completed, or they are completed, but they're purposely taking out chunks of the game so then they can go ahead and sell that back to you, a couple months later down the road as DLC. And that's not cool. It's very predatory. It's something that I don't agree with, but unfortunately, that is an issue with the gaming industry as a whole. So it's not just 343, but it is something that 343 is guilty of, and that's definitely something that does need to be addressed. When people just hate on Halo Infinite, Halo Master Chief Collection, Halo 4, these are great games. They have their problems. They're not nearly as good as the original 3 or Reach or ODST, but they are great games. What do you guys think of these games? I personally love Halo 4. Like I said, I still go back to that. I still play it. I'm going to start playing Halo Infinite again. Absolutely love them. I enjoy my times with them. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Guys, while you're down there, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. Go ahead and hit that bell notification button so you can be notified every single time that I post a video, which for my long form, again, is every single day at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you very much for stopping by. Guys, just a heads up, this video is being sponsored by Grifters Cola. Grifters Cola. We have the antidote, and you don't. Okay, that is incredibly concerning, by the way. I need to talk to someone immediately, because I had like a whole entire case of Grifters Cola.